Hello, I am the Obscure Jackal, and welcome back to Winds of Change. Today we'll be heading inside Peregrino for some conversation and rest before heading out to Salberg and Zao. As always, if you enjoy, please leave a like, it really helps a lot, and subscribe if you haven't to keep up with everything going on in Alestia. And catch me live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and every other Saturday over on Twitch. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so we actually need to head into Peregrino first. When we enter Peregrino, we're greeted to an argument. Normally, I'd look around the tavern, but this seemed pretty heated. The barkeep, angry, seems to yell at an annoyed man in front of him.
Absolutely not! There's no way! Take that letter back to Domek in pieces! I'm not giving up my beloved Peregrino, Pro.
It would seem that he's talking to Pro, the man we came here to meet. For some reason, I find him extremely familiar. I can't pinpoint why.
Aaron, you don't want to test me. This is for the good of Alestia. Don't be selfish. He wouldn't act outside of our best interests. If you don't agree, he'll cut your funding. You wouldn't be able to keep up. You'd go out of business. This isn't exactly the best place for a watering hole, you know.
The barkeep must be named Aaron. He seems to be on the receiving end of Pro's threats.
I'll make do. I have to. This place is my home.
We're not asking you to move. You just have to let Domek do what he wants.
Zamira is off to the side watching as well, drink in hand. I exchange glances with Valessa and Fortum, who seem a little startled. It seems like this is escalating quickly. What should I do? I'm going to go ahead and interrupt the argument. I decide to intrude on their argument before it gets any worse. What were they arguing about exactly? It's what I choose to ask first. Aaron scoffs and Pro gives me a sly smile, like my interruption benefits him.
Domek wants me to shut down Peregrino. He wants to turn it into some stupid barracks.
It's for Valenorth's safety, you know? With an army here, the village would be safe. Future attacks could be stopped before they even start.
At the cost of my home, you mean? I refuse to do this. You can't make me.
You're acting like a child, Aaron. Like I said, you can still live here. It just wouldn't be a tavern anymore.
But that's what it was meant to be, Pro. That's what the rebellion wanted. Neutral ground for both nations. You can't change your mind just because you want something else.
That's exactly why we can change our minds. Aaron, stop being stubborn. Lives are at stake here. Look me in the eyes and tell me your tavern is worth those lives.
But...
Pro cuts him off before he can continue and looks me in the eye.
Hey, Cirrus, give us your input. Without an elder, you're in charge of Aaron. This place still falls under Valenorth's jurisdiction. Or do you not know the secret of Peregrino?
The secret of Peregrino? What does he mean? I look at Valessa and Fortum and they shrug. He must have recognized me from the blade on my back.
Back when your elder formed a treaty with Mazeo, it's not like they trusted each other immediately. Both sides were scared of walking into a trap. So what was the best thing to do? Meet each other halfway. That's right. This place was built for secret rebellion meetings. But things are changing. Valenorth deserves an army to protect it.
It seems like the rebellion wants Valenorth to be resettled as well. That puts me at ease. I was worried they might throw it away like nothing. All the patrons look pretty happy here, but Valenorth could benefit from an army. I think about the secret he just told me. It sort of makes sense. A tavern in the middle of the forest isn't the best place to run a business. Domek must be lining Aaron's pockets to serve the rebellion's needs.
Don't tell me you're considering this, Cirrus.
Talk about putting me on the spot. I hope this isn't a frequent event. I don't feel like this is my choice, but due to current circumstances, it is. Milas resigned as the elder, leaving me in charge until I elect a replacement. That reminds me, I'd still have to choose between Vallessa and Fortum. However, it's probably best to take things one step at a time. First, Peregrino. I strike a pose that implies I'm deep in thought, but truly, I'm at a loss for words.
Think about it logically for a second. If this was a barracks, Valenorth would be safe. We'd fight off the Triumvirate forces for you. It may be too late now, but we can plan for the future. Damek is requesting this of Eren, but you can order it. He'll be expecting answers as soon as we arrive in Mazeo.
Pro seems to know a lot more than I initially thought.
He has a point, Cirrus. Technically, you're in charge of the entire nation. And if it sounds like I'm putting pressure on you, I am. We have a lot to do. We can't waste time over stupid fights. Help them resolve this so we can talk about important stuff.
This is all happening so quickly, I can't even find time to think. It feels surreal, almost like I'm in a dream or a vision. But it's real. Any attempt at collecting my thoughts goes on to be promptly interrupted.
There's no reason to turn this into a barracks, though. If you win this war, Alestia will be safe and peaceful. Damek is being hasty. He's not thinking straight. Cirrus, I beg of you, don't take my home away from me.
Everyone stares at me, expecting me to make a decision. Their watchful gaze fills me with anxiety and I tense up. Maybe I should ask for advice before making a decision. Well, let's go ahead and ask for advice, see what they think. I know what I'm going to answer, but we'll get to that later.
Look, I already told you to hurry up. There's no downside to placing an army here. Eren is just being whiny and resistant to change. You have the chance to prove yourself as a capable leader. Don't cave under his demands and give him what he wants. An effective leader does what's best for everybody. Think about Alestia when you make a choice, not Eren. And that advice will help you every time you need to make a decision. Catering to individual people is a great way to garner hate.
Solid advice.
Whoa, you actually want my input on this? I guess it is my duty to assist you, but I'm surprised. I'm only supposed to guide you when it comes to visions. If I had to choose, I'd keep this place the way it is. After the war, Valenorth and the rest of the world will be safe. Why would we train an army after we've taken down the Triumvirate?
Yeah.
If I were the Elder, I'd commit myself to maintaining our independence. That means living outside of conflict like we've been doing for millennia. Siding with the rebellion and putting an army here will tie us to future wars. Until today, even you were raised in an independent Valenorth. I can understand a temporary alliance, but we should go back to normal. I honestly think it's kind of an insulting idea. We can take care of ourselves.
Can we, though?
It's an interesting situation, to say the least. But that doesn't mean the right decision is hard to make. We should ally with the rebellion, then place an army here. If our elder had done that, then Valenorth would be fine. In my opinion, we need to work toward a united Alestia. That would have saved us this time. It can save us in the future. Either way, I know you also need to choose a new elder. If you already have someone in mind, then try to cater to them. It's important that they're left with a nation they'll be proud to lead.
So, my original answer was actually going to be to let Peregrino stay as it is. Because I'm fairly certain we're not really gonna need an army. At least not against the Triumvirate. Because the entire point of this whole journey is to overthrow the Triumvirate. But there is the point to be made that there could be future wars, and even staying neutral, we can't guarantee that we won't get somehow dragged into it. So it actually makes more sense to convert it to a barracks. I couldn't leave Valinor defenseless in the future. I had to do everything I could to prevent future attacks. My first order as acting elder was to militarize Peregrino.
I thought you'd be smarter, Cirrus. Stealing people's homes? No better than the Triumvirate. I hope you understand what kind of image this gives off.
You're just salty because it happens to be your home. Like,
I'm not going to argue with you out of respect. Valinor has been my home for ages, and I love the people. Looks like we're both losing our homes with no say in the matter.
He crosses his arms and walks off, ensuring I feel guilty. Was that really it? Was my word considered law? I don't think I've fully grasped the extent of my power yet. Aaron's immediate surrender implies that he was bluffing earlier, or at the very least, he was all talk, trying to intimidate Pro. Speaking of Pro, he turns to me and gives me a wide smile.
Oh, thank you so much. Without you, that would have gone on forever. Ulrich was right. We have other things to tend to.
He walks over to a nearby table, high-fiving Ulrich along the way. The large man looks at me and nods, signaling his approval. But after that, he walks toward the table as well. Time for a meeting? I wave to Valessa and Fortum as I walk over to the table. A few moments later, we're all seated together, exchanging glances. We wait for someone to break the silence, unsure of what will happen next.
Ulrich,
Pro?
I thought you might find yourself here. Domek must know about the new plans then.
He assumed you were slacking off. Now that I'm here, I guess it's half true.
Don't worry, I had it planned all along. You can doubt me, but everything worked out. Here we are, all together and ready to plan.
I need to get all of you back to Domek as fast as possible. We need to make some moves and plan our final attack.
He looks at me and then at the blade on my back.
You will be training under a pretty strict regimen. Domek wants you to master that blade as fast as you can. If you aren't already aware, a new spirit idol was found in Mazeo. Domek thinks we can use you and that blade to tap into its power. He thinks it will give us more of a chance to win this war.
A reasonable thought.
Wait, a new spirit idol? I didn't know that could happen. I thought we had all of them mapped out for a long time.
I'll assume your studying abilities are limited in Valinor, but the occupation was just a cover for the Triumvirate's true goal. They were looking for this spirit idol, so they could destroy it.
Whoa, hold on. Why would they want to do that?
We don't know, but that's why Domek wants it first. There's a possibility that it poses a threat to their reign. Legend has it they destroyed Alarinthia's idol as well.
Wait, Alarinthia's idol was destroyed?
It was so long ago that they almost never had one. That's why it turned into the arid wasteland it's become. Kind of like how Valinor will freeze over, potentially.
So, Domek wants to use this new spirit idol for power. Isn't that risky? Does he even know what will happen?
To answer those questions in order, no idea, absolutely, and no.
Nope. This has never been done before. Unless, of course, we're talking about your friend here.
Yeah, I suppose. He stares directly at me. He must be talking about my power. It was gifted to me directly from Valinor's now dim spirit idol.
You mean he wants to use the power on people?
As far as I know, yeah. It could give our army just the push it needs. There's even a chance it could turn them into seers.
That would be interesting.
An army of seers. Do you realize how crazy that sounds? I can't believe Domek would want to do that.
Kidding me? That sounds fantastic.
Hey, I'm just theorizing. We have no idea what will actually happen. We just know one thing. The Triumvirate wants it destroyed.
And that means they don't want anyone else to have it. So there must be something we can use it for, right? We think that this is part of your destiny, Cirrus.
My destiny?
It's not a coincidence that all of this happened at once. We find the idol just as you realize your potential. Perhaps it's that potential we need to be using.
Basically, it's gonna happen like this. We'll get to Mazeo, and Domic will start your training. When you feel comfortable enough, we'll bring you to the idol. You'll use your power to tap into it and empower our army. Then, you'll help Domic lead our final assault on Valteus. We'll take down the Triumvirate in their own home.
Wow.
He really has it all planned out, huh?
Yeah, smooth sailing once we get to Mazeo. But I think it would be too dangerous to leave right now. It's almost nighttime. We should rest and leave in the morning.
I agree. I made good time on my journey over here. We'll still be on schedule even if we stop to rest. Spirits know I need it after the long trek I just took.
Resting does sound pretty good right now. It's been such a hectic day. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. And it'll give us time to discuss other matters. I'm down to rest, Ulrich. Just point us in the right direction.
Not so fast. Let's hang out for a bit first. It's still early enough that we can have plenty of fun. Go look around. I won't be too far behind, alright?
Oh, sure.
Valessa and Fortum leave the table and start looking around. And that's what I would have done were it not for the earlier argument. Ulrich and Pro look at me and let out deep sighs.
I'm gonna go grab a drink. See you rest when you're ready. Take any room you want. We'll head to the Outlook at dawn and journey down to Mazeo.
He gets up and walks away, leaving me alone with Pro.
Look, I'm sure you're processing a lot all at once. But you're not alone. We're about to go to war. I'm overwhelmed too, and so is Ulrich. He might not show it, but I'm sure he's scared. There's never been a battle like this before. All we can do is play with the hand we've been dealt.
Pro has now permanently joined the party.
I'll see you around, alright? Watching everybody drink is making me thirsty. If you miss me, you'll know where to find me.
He leaves the table and goes to grab a drink. All I can do is hang out for a while and then go to sleep. Maybe I could talk to Pro for some more information, too. Whatever I did, though, this would be my final night in Valinor. Alright, we've got more stuff to do.
Oh, hey Zamira. It's good to see you again. I was starting to worry you might...
Oh, come on now. There's no need to worry about me. I'd worry about Valinorth. There's no more gate guard.
Oh yeah, I guess that was your job. I'm glad to see that you got everything done. Did you, happen to touch that sword by any chance?
Absolutely not. I kept it under wraps the entire time. We put it in the Grand Tree for safekeeping.
Whew, good idea. I'm just really curious. Domic was able to use it, however briefly. And not only that, but he had a vision too.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Didn't you guys find a new spirit idol in Mazeo?
Yeah, I think he wants to harness it for power. I didn't stop to ask, but it's all he talks about now.
Well, isn't it inside your new HQ?
Yeah, now that you mention it.
Didn't Damek frequent those underground tunnels? Maybe he was exposed to some level of spiritual energy. At least, enough to let him have a vision or something.
I don't think that's how it works.
It's a possibility. At least give me that much. That blade challenges all of our understandings.
Alright, your theory has merit. It's really odd, but it makes sense. Can you even imagine if it was true?
Maybe that's why Damek wants to harness its power. Giving regular people visions? He'd have an army of seers. There's no way the Triumvirate could fight against that.
Whoa. Hey, how'd you learn about this stuff anyway?
I overheard a few things, that's all. No one is leaking intel or anything.
Good. We can't have any moles. The rebellion, as it is, currently hangs on threads. It's only thanks to that anomalous blade that we stand a chance.
Ooh. Ulrich and
Hey, you were
Zamira.
working with the Cirrus?
Yeah, something like that. It lasted all a couple hours.
What do you think about her?
I honestly have no idea. It's hard to believe that our fate rests upon one person. I don't think I could put my faith in somebody that way.
Why not?
It's a big gamble, isn't it? Too risky.
Yeah, but faith is all about risk. You believe in spite of overwhelming odds. You fight, even when everything tells you to stop. You don't have to agree, but it's true. Without faith, the rebellion wouldn't even be here. Alestia would remain under the Triumvirate's grasp forever.
You have a point, Ulrich. It's impressive that you've come this far.
And we still have a long way to go. But we won't get there if people don't believe. Have a little faith in us, alright, Zamira?
Well, I can't say no to that. Just don't let me down, alright? When we make it through this, I'm buying drinks.
Oh, you mean you aren't buying right now? And here I was, buttering you up for nothing.
Ah.
Can you believe Domek's nerve?
Don't worry. He knows what he's doing. He wouldn't act outside of Alestia's best interests. Whatever he's planning, I trust him.
Even if it means losing my tavern?
I can't change my outlook. Sorry.
Alright, at least you can relate to me a little. Without Valenorth, your job is gone too.
Yeah, looks like we'll both be unemployed. Maybe we could look for a new job together. We're all going to Museo, right?
It's the closest place to go, but I think the pirates have the monopoly on that place. Do you think the new Rebel HQ will have a tavern at all?
Most likely.
Beats me, but I know Museo has one. When we get there, how about we scout it out? Start looking in your comfort zone, and then branch out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks, Zamira. You're a good guy. I hope you can find a new job as well.
I might ask Damek if he has any openings. I don't need money, just food and a place to live. He's offering that to everyone from Valenorth.
I guess he really is a nice guy, but he's taking Peregrino away from me. It's hard to side with someone like that, you know?
That's understandable.
I understand. Don't worry. Everything will work out. We'll need more barkeeps when this is all over.
Really?
Yeah, of course! Imagine the celebrations when we win! This isn't permanent. You'll be fine.
Zamir is a great guy. Alright, let's see what Grizz is up to. After arranging everything with Damek, Grizz returned to his office. He had a lot to do, working with both the Rebellion and the Triumvirate. And though his true allegiance was with the rebels, he had to keep up appearances. That meant trying to strike an allegiance with the most unexpected of factions.
No, Alex, you have it all wrong. I only want you to pretend that you're helping the Triumvirate. When the time comes, you'll turn on them and help Damek instead.
You know Nada will never let this happen, right?
I don't care what she thinks. I'm asking you. I have no doubt in my mind. A battle is coming to Museo. The Triumvirate will send their forces here for that new idol. I don't know what they want with it, but we need to strike immediately. You'll meet them at the docks and tell them you've been hired to assist. As soon as you get the chance, you'll sabotage the ships and kill them all. That is, except for one ship. Damek will need one to launch his attack on Balteus.
Alright, I'll humor you for a moment. Even if I play along and your rebellion comes to rule Alestia, they'll lift the trade bans, effectively ruining piracy for good. Why should I fight to kill my own profession?
There are much better things to do in this world, Alex. I could pay you with anything you wanted, or any job you wanted. Just name it, and I'll make it happen. These are dire times, you know.
I doubt this offer extends to the rest of our crew. I'd love a reward and a new job, but not if it screws them over. They'll be doing the bulk of the fighting, not me or Nada. That is, if I can even convince them to do this. One of our core tenets is that we don't take sides.
Even when the victor is clear?
Even so, during the occupation, we fought for our own survival. Both the Triumvirate and the citizens of Mazeo attacked us.
That's rude.
We worked for decades to unite the pirates into what they are today. Doing this will split them apart again. You'll make an enemy out of Nada. She's pretty much the leader, and her influence is immeasurable.
I'm well aware of that, and I've taken it into consideration. A divide in your numbers will still give me the right amount of men. You can show the rest of the pirates they're on the wrong side of this. Any divide that comes, I'm sure we can mend it. Besides, Damek hasn't said he's going to harm piracy. I'm sure we can come to some sort of deal, Alex.
No matter what the deal is, you can't win over everybody. As soon as the Triumvirate falls, you'll have another war lined up. Hell, they might even join the White Cloaks out of spite.
I'm willing to take the risk, but I'll do my best to make sure they're satisfied. There will be a place for everyone in our new Alestia. The pirates are in a great position to make demands. As the mayor of Mazeo, I can give you anything you want. There's no way Nada could turn an offer like that down.
Very well. Let's talk terms.
Very interesting negotiations there. Now then, let's see what Sovi is up to. Sovi looked at the sea, taking in every detail of the near infinite expanse. Still processing the earlier revelations, he gritted his teeth, annoyed. Why did the Triumvirate wait so long to tell him these secrets?
Master, are you okay?
Of course.
There it is again, that dismissive tone. I can tell when something is wrong, you know. There's no need to lie. I'm your apprentice.
It's nothing, Halen.
I think it has to do with what happened earlier. The Triumvirate told you something, didn't they? You're not taking it well. I could tell the entire time.
Very perceptive. Leave me alone.
Sovi, you're acting like a child.
He lets out a deep sigh as his apprentice hounds him for information. It was true, but Sovi didn't want to admit it. He was too prideful.
Please tell me. I want to help you, Sovi. I stand by your side no matter what.
Are you sure about that, Halen?
Of course. You don't have to tell me what they said, Sovi, but at least tell me what you're feeling.
Sovi took note of Halen's sudden empathy. It was abnormal and somewhat unwelcome. What had changed in the last few hours?
They told me something I wasn't ready to hear. I'm sorry I forgot about you, and I'm sorry for being cross. My thoughts are muddled, Halen, and I'm confused.
How do you plan to deal with that?
For the first time in a while, I don't know. My purpose was always clear, my resolve unwavering. I'm starting to feel like my previous master, before my promotion.
You never did tell me what happened to him.
No, I didn't.
Very well. At least tell me about this purpose of yours. I fight to ensure the reign of the Triumvirate, our gods.
A very clear purpose, and noble to some. For me, things have always been a bit different. I fight to ensure the reign of Alestia's true rulers.
Then what's the issue, Master? It would seem that we share the same purpose.
Sophie sighed again and slumped his shoulders slightly. Until now, everything had been an act to intimidate Shane. Halen could tell that Sophie was displaying his true emotions.
Normally, I would agree with you. But now, I'm not so sure.
There's something very interesting going on.
Hey,
Let's see what you got, Pro. Well, from my understanding, Pro was one of the children that was basically inducted into the training program to become the rebellion. So, there was that. How long have you been here?
I've been here for a couple weeks, much to Domic's dismay. He wanted me to bring the blade to Valinor and get you immediately. I guess maybe he thought the attack was going to happen right away. An outsider marching into Valinor with a weapon would be a bad idea. That's why I wrapped it up and gave it to Zamira to keep safe. I knew Milas would give it to you, and you'd come here eventually. I knew we had spare time, so I decided to play it safe. Besides, Peregrino is a pretty cool place. Aaron sure is fun to hang out with.
Do you think Domic's gonna be mad?
Probably not. I mean, it all worked out for the best. I got to relax here too, which is really hard to do these days. Overall, I wouldn't be concerned. It's such a minor change. He's capable of adapting, which is why he sent Ulrich here as well. The fact that Ulrich is calm speaks volumes. Domic isn't mad. If he was, I'd be in the middle of a huge verbal lashing right now.
That's fair.
I think it's a pretty good idea if you want to resettle Valinor. Any future attackers will have to march right past Peregrino. Can't think of a better use than to station a capable army here.
Yeah, location is definitely good for that. Yeah, I'm not really worried about what he has to say, honestly. Nothing new out here. Okay. I guess we'll head to bed. I make my way toward one of the private rooms. It's time to get some rest. It's been a long day, and the subsequent days show no signs of changing pace. And this new life would simply be the nature of things. Everything's different. I let that settle in for a while. It'd be almost impossible to sleep as things stood. All of our lives were flipped around in an instant. Not only that, but put in danger too. There's no guarantee that any of us would survive this, and we didn't have a choice but to fight. At least I didn't. Regardless of my feelings, I couldn't turn my back on Alestia. If I did that, I'd be saying my own life was more important than our entire world. No matter how hard I tried, there's no way I could convince myself that was true. I sit on the edge of the bed and let out a loud sigh as I lay back. I don't get much rest before I'm shaken wide awake. The door to my room slowly opens. It's Valessa and Fortum. It seems they've disregarded both my privacy and desire to sleep. I rise up to greet them, unsure of what to say. Having trouble falling asleep?
Yeah, that's the long and short of it. Fortum and I have been talking for a while. There's something we need to discuss. Now.
Yeah, we both came to the same conclusion. This isn't an order. It's more of a polite demand.
Good, because you can't exactly order me around anyway.
Cirrus, you need to choose the next Elder of Valinor.
You have a lot on your plate. You can't handle everything responsibly. Valinor's future requires nothing but the utmost care and attention. We can't expect you to lead Valinor and train with that blade.
It's exactly like she said. Listen, I know this may seem sudden to you, but we've been talking about it for a while now. We wouldn't feel comfortable leaving Peregrino without a new elder. Someone needs to plot Valinor's future and make choices along the way. Considering you'll be busy with the rebellion, we want you to elect one of us.
Valessa nods and smiles. I can tell they're both dead serious.
Let us carry this burden, Cirrus. Please.
I rub the fatigue out of my eyes and stare at them for a few moments. It seems that lately people had a tendency of putting me on the spot. Their intentions were pure, however, to stop me from being overwhelmed. Any effort to alleviate the pressure shouldn't go unnoticed. I cross my arms and continue to stare at them. They look concerned. This is almost like an intervention. I doubt they'll leave without results.
Did we say something wrong? Look, she has no idea what to say.
And I thought we made our case pretty clear. Look, we're the best two candidates, Cirrus. You should make your choice before the night is over.
We can talk about it a little more if you'd like. It'd be best if this wasn't a hasty choice, right? Let's think things through. Like a team.
There goes that rest we wanted to have. Looks like I'll have to get comfortable.
She makes her way to the back of the room and sits on the chest. It seems uncomfortable, even for a makeshift chair, but she doesn't show it. Fortum yawns and rests his back against the windowsill, whistling innocently.
So, what do we talk about?
Well, let's ask them why they want to be. I've already made up my mind. Let's see if they can change it.
Well, I'm actually a fan of what Milas and his father have done. Valinor has spent more than enough time being independent. We need to band together. We'll be strong enough to face any threat. Valessa wants to maintain our independence. We can't have that. How long until we're attacked again? The Triumvirate isn't our last enemy, and when that time comes, I want to have allies. We need to be strong. I actually support your decision to turn this place into a barracks. We need to have protection in the future. It'd be stupid not to. Domik has the right idea. I'm starting to dig the guy. Is that all?
Not exactly what I was wanting to hear for your case, but we'll take it.
Because Milas and his father have given up Valinor's soul. We need to stand apart. Our culture, our line of seers, they're special. Valinor was and always should be independent. It's just fact. Whatever comes our way, we can handle it on our own. That's the way it's been for thousands and thousands of years. This is only happening because we stoked the Triumvirate's ire. That won't happen again. And Fortum can't see that. He wants to unite with the rest of Alestia and give up our identity. Why waste all of our resources preparing for something that won't happen? And to that end, why did you want to convert this place into a barracks? I think it's kind of beautiful on its own. It adds to our sense of culture. Turning it into a military operation we'll never use? I don't get it. Any other questions?
It's because you're stuck in the past, Valessa. In all likelihood, I am the last seer. And it's just, yeah. I mean...
Well?
Please think this through.
I have thought it through. Y'all are freaking annoying. Fortum, you've got the right idea for the most part. I definitely trust you more on this. I chose Fortum. He was right, we needed unity and strength in the future. Teaming up with the other nations wasn't sacrificing our identity. Valessa was wrong. It was simply turning a new page in our books. Time moves forward. Things change. Valinor was isolated long enough. Perhaps it's that isolation that led to our downfall here. We lacked strength. Under Fortum's lead, and with my blessing, we'd find that strength.
Wow. Really? This is like a dream come true. I can't believe this is actually happening.
Yeah, that's a fact. Fortum in charge of our nation. You realize what that means, don't you?
Yes, I've thought about it. Thank you, Valessa.
Yeah, it means we're finally a team. I won't just be tagging along anymore. The three of us are Valinorth now.
Interesting way of looking at it.
We can travel the world together, creating alliances. After we save Alestia, we can reconnect with the spirits too. We'll have a huge network of allies, ready to take on any challenge. I'm going to change history. This is insane. Thank you so much. I don't know what else to say.
I think you're dreaming a little big for now.
Well, I have a few things to say, but I think I need to get some sleep.
She stands up and walks toward the door. But before she leaves, she turns back to face me. It appears that she's hesitant, unsure of if she should speak.
I'm upset. I can't deny that fact. But this won't change the way I treat either of you. I'm still your scribe, and I'm still Fortum's friend. I'll get over this. I've gotten over much worse. I can still help Valinor in my own way, right? In the end, maybe this is for the best.
She walks out without displaying much emotion at all. Was she hurt? I made the choice that I thought was most fitting. I guess I'd never know. I'll take her word for it. Things'll be fine. This decision could never please both people, and I had to do it. Whatever ramifications came of this would be impossible to avoid. I turned back to Fortum, who looks extremely excited and deep in thought.
When we get to Mazeo, I'll be Valinorth's envoy. Meeting Domik will be completely different. It'll be diplomatic in nature. We can discuss how to better utilize the bond between our nations.
It's a good sign that he's already thinking about such things. This wasn't a light decision, and he'd have a lot of responsibilities. It'd change the way he approached our entire journey from here on out.
Oh, I guess I shouldn't be thinking out loud. Wouldn't be a good idea to give away my strategies.
He winks at me and starts walking toward the door. But like Valessa did a moment earlier, he hesitates. Did he have something important to say before he left?
Hey, I was actually wanting to ask, do you think I could stay in your room tonight? All this talk about attacks and stuff, it has me scared. I mean, I'd feel a little safer with friends nearby. I can sleep on the floor if you don't want me to bother you. You won't even know I'm here. I can promise you that.
Fine, make yourself comfortable.
Thanks. I was really hoping you'd say that. I won't make a sound, I promise.
He quickly grabs a sheet and curls up on the floor. I decide to leave him be and return to my bed. I'm so tired I practically collapse on it. It isn't much longer before we fall asleep. But, much to my dismay, I'd get no rest that night. For the Fates had something else in store. Before I can even comprehend what happened, I'm whisked away from Peregrino. This isn't a vision. Those don't happen so fast after falling asleep. This is different. I rub my eyes and try to take in more of my surroundings. Where am I? It's so dark, with architecture unlike anything I've ever seen. There's nobody here. I'm all by myself, except for that. At the other end of the room, it pulsates and glows. As I look at it, I feel something burn deep inside of me. Not in a bad way, no, it's more like a burning desire. It's calling out to me. It wants me to get closer. I take one step forward, keeping my eyes on the mysterious object, and as soon as my foot lands on the ground, pain courses through my body. I'm brought to my knees. It's almost like it's slowly draining my energy. When it subsides, I stand back up, but the desire hasn't gone away. I need to get closer. I need to know exactly what this thing is. My burning curiosity trumps any care for my well-being. Even though I object to such a mindset, I keep moving forward. It's almost like my body is moving on its own, without my input. I take another step, and the pain returns to my body, but this time it's worse. I'm brought to my knees, and I can't seem to get back up. It's tearing me apart. I pant heavily, unable to move as it continues to harm my spirit.
Stop.
That's the triumvirate. I immediately fall to the ground as I hear the voice from behind me. But it's not a bad thing, as I gain full control over my body. Whatever was controlling me, they had put a stop to it. I turn around and take steps toward them, grateful. I could tell the further away from that object I was, the better. But when I reach this mysterious person, I'm not prepared for what I see.
It's almost instinctual now. Interesting. Sorry for not being here right away. I didn't know you'd come so fast. That means things have slowed down on your end. I see.
The triumvirate. I can tell right away. Or at least one of them, since I only see one cloak before me. I start to panic and reach for the blade of Exodus.
No.
They wave their hand forward and I can no longer move. Letting out a chuckle, they start walking toward me.
Even now, corruption grows within you. It can flow from the most noble of actions. But is that corruption what you truly want? There is no way to discern the consequences of your actions. You act instinctively, much like before. You do what you think is right. But what is right, and what is pure? Well, those are two different things.
Interesting. They strike a pose as if they're lost in thought.
You know who I am, or at least, what I belong to. I speak not for the triumvirate, but of my own accord. Not that this would go against the wishes of my subordinates.
Interesting. Does this mean I'm in the presence of the triumvirate's leader?
That power within you is a truly wonderful thing. So much strength, gifted to you by the realm of spirits. But you have to ask yourself, is it truly a gift? Do you act in Alestia's best interests, or in the spirits? Until now, everyone in Valinor assumed the two aligned. But things are changing. They're starting to make a push.
I strain myself, trying to move, but to no avail. Whatever they've done, they've taken over control of my body.
What purpose is your journey if it ends in complete corruption? Keep that in mind as you stride forward, and make those tough choices. Many of them breed corruption. The pursuit of strength, for example. Before you go, I did call you here for one purpose.
They motion to the idol at the back of the room before waving their arm. As the ability to move returns to my body, I stumble, failing to balance myself. How is it possible to do this? Can they manipulate spiritual energy without the blade? I regain my balance and immediately turn to look at the idol.
It's beautiful, isn't it? There's never been a more pure form of corruption. You seek to dethrone us. Isn't that your goal? In that case, remember one thing.
They tilt their head, and though I can't see their face, I assume they're smiling. With a final wave of their hand, I collapse to the ground and my vision fades away.
The only thing that can destroy pure corruption is purity itself, embodied.
I hear their words, but I seem to exist in a void of nothingness. I don't understand what just happened. I'm only left with a multitude of questions. My actions can influence the purity or corruption of the power inside me? That doesn't make any sense, but then again, maybe that's what they wanted. They'd want to confuse me, to try and push me down a different path. Of course they'd want to scare me away from decisions that would harm their reign. Or would they? Almost immediately I find myself back in Peregrino. I got no sleep. And thanks to what just happened, I doubt I would on any other night. The lingering fright that this made happen again was almost crippling. The sun shines through the window, illuminating the room. I can see how covered in dust everything is. Overnight patrons must be rare. As I scan the room, I notice an entire section is dust-free. Fortum is cleaning.
Oh, hey! Good morning, Cirrus. I saw all this dust and couldn't help myself. Sure, it lost me a few hours of sleep, but I don't care. How about you? How did you sleep?
Didn't really sleep, to be honest.
Oh, well, I don't blame you. The beds at home are a lot more comfortable. I heard Ulrich talking outside. We're skipping breakfast. When we're all ready, we're heading to Museo. I think you can tell what I'm planning, right? We'll finally be able to share some apples.
He smiles and his ears perk up. Skipping breakfast didn't sound all too appealing, but I'm sure Museo would have no shortage of cuisine. Someone knocks on the door of the room a few times. After hearing no objections, they slowly enter the room. It's Valessa, and she lets out a loud yawn before speaking.
Oh, hey, Fortune. I was gonna look for you too. Glad to know I didn't end up wasting time.
Morning, Valessa. Sleep well?
I suppose so, all things considered. There's a whole host of questions I want to ask. As soon as we meet Domik, I expect to get answers.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Hopefully as the Elder, I can get him to talk. It's a bit different when it's a political ally asking.
Makes sense, I guess. Maybe I'll give you my list or something. Then it'll be a matter of Museo-Valenworth relations.
Not a bad idea, actually. Either way, I expect to know a lot more in a few days. I can't wait to meet Domik and the rest of the Rebel Alliance.
So, are you ready to go? Ulrich and Pro are waiting out front. I guess the outlook is pretty close to Peregrino.
I'm good. Unless there's something else we need to do.
They both look at me. I guess it's my choice. It might be a good chance to get some private time with my friends. But Ulrich and Pro could get impatient if we waste time chatting in Peregrino. Either way, I know one thing for certain. I shouldn't tell them what happened. The Triumvirate taking me to their chambers, and personally? Would they even believe me? I should let it process for a bit longer and see if it happens again before telling anybody. I pause and they await my next move. Okay, and that's gonna do it for this episode. Kind of a longer one, but plenty of interesting information to go forward with. Once again, if you enjoyed, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and catch me over on Twitch. You can also find me on Discord now. That link is in my profile. So, come chat, hang out. But, until then, I'll see you next time. Obscure Jackal, signing out.